will be beginning with our Women's Day webinar hosted by ECDF, Early Child Development Forum. And I am damn sure that all of you now who are attending us live on Facebook know about ECDF. We are a nonprofit organization who looks after the underprivileged children and women rights in the parts of the country where quality education, gender equality, women empowerment, and care for little ones is of utmost necessity because they do not have the resources or the means to get it and avail it. So some things that seems like, the very basics for us are not the basics for them. So ECDF works day and night with them. We have a youth brigade. We do a lot of number of trainings, workshops with parents, with teachers, with educators, so that more and more people can join us for the cause. Do subscribe to us for our EdClan educational journal, where we have experts speaking and there's a lot of knowledge sharing. Do subscribe and also become a member of ECDF. You get a lot of benefits once you're a member, because then you can host your own courses, you can share your knowledge, you can reach out to the greater community of educators, not only nationally but internationally. Our core team members are from all over the world, including UK, Australia, Malaysia, US, the UAE, and of course our India. So today I'll be hosting the Women's Day webinar, and the International Women's Day on the 8th of March is celebrated to accolade the women's achievements, to empower them, and to also, have a look at the milestones that we women have achieved from the beginning of the 20th century till now, the 22nd and the 23rd century that we are heading towards. So let's see what all we have here. And today we have a host and lineup of very esteemed speakers. So let me introduce you to them one by one. And also that we will be talking about a lot of issues concerning women and a lot of issues for education and women empowerment. So we have with us today Dr. Monica Devan, Ms. Vasundhara Kaul, Drishti Chuk, and Greshma Momaya was supposed to join us. We'll see in the course of the time if she can join us. Because of the delay, there was a confusion. All right, a little bit about our speakers. First, a little bit about me. For the people who do not know me, my name is Smriti Agarwal, and I have been an early childhood educator since almost 3 decades now, under the role of everything that you can imagine in early childhood education, right from a teacher to a parenting mentor, teacher trainer, to an education consultant, curriculum mentor, coordinator, academics and events, and of course, talking nonstop like this on webinars. That's one of my personal habits. So written books, done it all, and been here. So this time, now I'm the moderator, so I'll do the least amount of speaking henceforth. Till now, you were hearing me. Now you'll hear me less after I introduce my speakers to you. So Dr. Monica Devan, she's the director of Adarsh Education Solutions, and she's been the former educator at the American Embassy School, New Delhi. She has authored a book titled Life Stories, and which is available at Amazon. All of you must buy it. And Dr. Devan has featured in the Voice America radio show, Go For It, by Joe Hussman. Then we have Ms. Vasundhara Kaul. Ms. Vasundhara is a trainer, mental health practitioner, TEDx speaker, and well-being coach. She has 17 plus years of experience, work experience, and she is the founding partner at Capidum EdPsych Consultancy. She's currently a visiting faculty at the Jai Hind College, Mumbai, and a guest lecturer at various educational institutions. So we welcome Dr. Monica Devan and Ms. Vasundhara Kaul. Honored to have you with us on the panel, on the discussion today. Then we have Ms. Drishti Chuk. She's a child counselor. She's a parenting expert. She has worked in Melbourne, Australia as a mental health practitioner. Welcome, Ms. Drishti Chuk. So happy to have all of you with us today. So, International Women's Day, like I said, is to accolade the women and to empower them to keep doing and the good work that they do and keep going strong. One of the most empowered women, Dr. Vasvi Acharya, she could not join us today because her network is really low. And we were looking forward to have a few words from her. But the chairperson of ECDF, who's bringing about a lot of changes, would probably join us as and when she gets her network and technology is with her. So right now, I'll start with a common question to all the three speakers that we have on board right now. And that is, when we talk about empowered women, I would like to know, what does the term empowered women mean to you? Let's start with Dr. Monica Devan. Over to you, Dr. Monica.
Sure. Thank you so much, Smriti, and a very happy International Women's Day to everyone out there. And also wish everybody a very happy and colorful Holi. Talking about women empowerment, what does it mean? In literal words, women empowerment means to empower women. And when we say empower women, we are trying to say support women, understand them, give them their basic rights. Primarily, I would say give them their basic liberties, just allow them to meet their basic needs of survival. The 5 basic needs are fun, freedom, power, survival, and belonging. So just by using these terms, empower women, we want to ensure that women are allowed opportunities to make decisions of their life, to live freely, and also to be able to achieve their desired goals in life. So that's really what women empowerment means. And I like to also talk about how I feel about this word, right? Which means when we talk about our feelings for women empowerment, I strongly feel I have 2 thoughts coming right away. One is a good one and the other one is a not so good one. The good one is that when we talk about women empowerment, I feel very happy that there are women who need to be upgraded. There's a strata of our society which is definitely underprivileged. And as much as we can do to upgrade them, help them educate, just raise their status, raise their living standards, that makes me feel very good and happy. The other part of me feels extremely frustrated when I hear this word empower women, for the reason why. Why should women be empowered? Are we on the receiving end? Is somebody superior than us who wants to make us feel empowered? So I just feel we are equal to everybody else. And there's no reason for others to say that we are going to give you these rights to live, to make your choices, to make your decisions. So I feel women empowerment has its own pluses and deltas. And we just need to make everybody around us aware that we are just a human being like anybody else. Thank you.
Very well said, Dr. Monica, and I agree with you 100%. No one can empower us, we can empower ourselves. So basically, I would like today on the International Women's Day, my request to all the women out there is, till the time you don't empower yourself, nobody is going to come and empower you, first thing. And the second thing, in today's times, in fact, I feel men needs to be empowered, because they need to be educated about the women's right, which they do not know. And that is why we talk about women's empowerment, because we are much more capable. We can obviously take our own decisions, carve our own niche. We can go a career path, be more successful, and we can be the leaders and the bosses where men are working under us. That was not thought of in the 20th century. But today, it's a possibility and it is a reality, not only a possibility. So I agree with Dr. Monica. This is a frustrating term that we have to empower women. Over to you, Drishti. What do you think about it?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Samriti. Happy International Women's Day to everybody, and happy Holi to everybody who has celebrated today. According to me, women empowerment is sense of self-worth. What is your self-worth when you are in a public? Are you keeping yourself on top of everybody? And the ability to determine their own choices, owner of their own actions, and they are leading an independent life and taking responsibility of their own actions. So according to me, these are the very important aspects. These are the words which I, in my personal life, I really follow. I like just trying to keep your self-worth on top, what you can take, and having your voice up when something is not acceptable and you say no, and that no should means like no. So keeping your self-worth on top of it the priority. Yeah, that's it for me for this question.
Thank you so much, Drishti, for sharing your thoughts. That was indeed wonderful. Like it just said that you have to empower yourself. What Drishti said was the self-worth. So do we respect ourselves? There's a self-respect, there's a self-worth involved for every human being. Till the time we do not belittle ourselves, no one can do that for, to you. So keep your self-worth
Yeah.
and self-respect in place. Right. Thank you so much, Drishti. That was a real good perspective that you gave us about the empowered woman, the term. Welcome, Grishma. We were missing you, and now finally Grishma joins us. And like I said, that because of our confusion, she could not join us earlier. But don't worry, you've not missed anything much, only my blabbering and your introduction. That's it. We are on the first question of what does the term empowered women mean to you? So Dr. Monica has shared her thoughts. Drishti has shared her thoughts. I'll go to over to Ms. Vasundhara. She'll share her thoughts, and then Grishma, you're next. Okay, so be prepared.
Thank you so much, Smriti, and lovely hearing what Dr. Monica and Drishti had to say. And of course, like everyone else, wishing everyone a very happy International Women's Day and a happy Holi. Like Smriti said, in Bombay, we did it a little earlier, but since at heart I'm a Dilliwala and everywhere else, essentially a very happy Holi to everyone. And so, just to add on to what has been said already by all three of you, I think I looked up this term a few years ago in terms of, empowered women, because it had become the in thing at that point in time. And at that point in time, some of the key words that Google would kind of throw up on you would be that something like what Drishti said, that, obviously only when you can have a sense of self-worth will you be an empowered woman. But what was a very interesting article that I had read around that time was also that, at the end of the day, if you are in a decision-making process, can you stand your own in whatever decision it could be? So, sometimes we confuse an empowered woman as only a corporate woman, or as only an X person, or only a that person or this person. So there's so many labels attached to an empowered woman. So she should wear clothes like this, be like this, behave like this, act like this, and all of that. And I feel the one common thing is that if I can just be me, Vasundhara Kaul, and be accepted for that, then I can say I'm empowered enough. So it doesn't require me to be like anyone else. It does. So even if I take the decision, which I did many years back, of taking a sabbatical, of being at home, of being being at home all the time or some of the time, that also is a decision that I have the right to take, and a right to not defend. And I shouldn't have have the necessity to defend a decision like that. But really, I live my life on my own terms, whether I'm a homemaker, a corporate go-getter, or anyone else. I'm just that, and if I can be accepted as that. And therefore, I think to me, an empowered woman was my nani back then, in those days, where she got married at the age of 17, but decided to go back to studying and completing her B.Ed and then teaching for the next 20 years after she delivered 3 children. So it is really, really, really about being able to be very, very proud of yourself. And I think the day, and a cue from what Dr. Monica was saying, that there's so many other women who may not have the privileges like us. The day we don't need an 8th of March to remind everyone of our existence is the day I would say that every single one of us is empowered enough. So with that, Smriti, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Sundara. Indeed, another fresh perspective. Yes, of course. Who's an empowered woman? The woman who earns, the woman who goes to the office, the woman who's in the corporate, or because that's aping men, right? But why don't we have empowered women at homes? We have, like very rightly said by Ms. Vasundhara, her nani, like our grandmothers. If we can just go back and see their times and the way they lived lives, it was actually empowerment. because, after being at home, confined to home, after having a number of children, they still stand out. They still had a lot more wisdom than we would have. It's not just bookish knowledge, but a lot of other things. Empowered woman has to be everywhere. At your home also, you have an empowered woman. So never underestimate the power of a homemaker. Okay, the common man, the common homemaker. So she's also a very empowered woman. And now over to Krishma. Krishma, your thoughts, please.
Okay, happy Women's Day to 3,905 million women across the world, representing 49.58% of the world population. So today we celebrate the achievement of each and every woman that represent 49.58% of the world population around the world. And having said that, we also acknowledge that there is still a lot needs to be done to achieve women empowerment. Now, women empowerment is someone we all know, basically, who can stand up for their rights or, fight against discrimination, and most importantly, pursue their dreams. They are confident, fearless, and they're determined to make a difference, not just in their lives, but also in the lives of others. But one thing that I would like to add as a quality of an empowered woman is not judging another woman. Okay, whether the woman is a working woman is a stay-at-home, or woman is fat, thin, whatever, however they look, the first impression, the first time that when you see another woman, and the first judgmental thought that comes to our mind, that needs to be ignored. Okay, I mean, it's a human psychology. We do get these thoughts, but to just ignore it and just let it by without voicing out loud to others, I think when we start doing that, then each woman is empowered. Because today, most of the times it is, I mean, I'm not generalizing it, but it is the women who tear each other, right? We all at some point have experienced this. Okay, it is the women who compliment, who do not give compliment to others because of their egos, because of whatever. So I think that is where we need to empower women, that just let the first thought, judgmental thought, when you see another woman, just right there, stop there, and do not comment on other women. If the child is thin, if the child has put on weight, why do we judge another woman in our life? Let them be. Everyone has their own struggle. We all know. Let's not add on to the pressure. So it starts from us. The empowerment starts from us. So today I pledge that if I see any other woman and I get a judgmental thought in my mind, I am going to just let it by. And I'm not going to voice out to other. Instead, I would first compliment the other woman for whatever they are doing. Yes. So that's empowerment for me. Over to you, Smriti.
Wow, bravo. All the speakers, people have brought in such wonderful perspectives for empowered women on this Women's Day. So this International Women's Day is especially very, very special. And Greshma is 100% right. The moment we women, it's like always been like, there's a saying in Hindi, औरत ही औरत की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन है. And why is this saying you going, because of the mother-in-laws and the daughter-in-laws and the sister-in-laws and all laws, whatever, not the law-abiding people, but all laws. So all in-laws and everybody we fight with each other, and there are so many differences and there's so many judgments. Like what Greshma said, yeah, we as women, the first thing that we body shaming. Oh my God, you become so fat. Why don't you lose weight? Try out this diet, do this. And for parenting also, what is a good mom or what a bad mom, working mothers or homemakers, stay-at-home mothers. So many kind of labels and judgments we have for other women. our own kinds, and then we talk about women empowerment. So let's not bring them down. Let's not be judgmental. Let's not pass a comment or a judgment or labelize other women. The moment we stop doing that, half of the task is done, that you're contributing to women empowerment because you're not being judgmental. Because see, we women, we face that a lot. You wear skimpy clothes, you're fast. You go to a lounge, you will drink, you don't drink, you're not a social person, you're not a party person, you are a party person, everything becomes a problem. You're fat, you're too thin, you neglect your child, you don't neglect, you over what you're helicopter parenting, you're so much over your children, or you give them space, then you are not, a good mother, not good enough because you're probably neglecting them. So many labels. Let's just throw all those labels out of the door now, and let's just be ourselves. The self-worth that Drishti was talking about, the women empowered, that Dr. Monica was talking about, that we really do not need empowerment from somebody or some kind of a certificate that, yeah, you are an empowered woman. We don't need that. What we really need to do is we have to stop labeling, stop being judgmental, and tell the world that please stay away from these kind of thoughts. Right on. So that was a really good start. And now we go on to our individual questions for each speaker. Let's see, what do we have here and what do we want to know? So when we talk about empowered women, we have something that is called gender equality. Now, that's another term that I really don't understand. Of course, we have equal things. But all my speakers just right now said, and they agree to this, that there is a certain section of society where those equal rights do not exist. There are still places and there are still countries, or there are still districts and cities where women do not enjoy equal rights. And even education and even decision making is a task. They're not consulted for their own lives. So here we have an SDG. We have the Sustainable Development Goal, which is like, there's a goal number 4, which talks about quality education. Now, education empowers. And then we have the SDG 5, which talks about the gender equality. So my question to Dr. Monica would be, Dr. Monica, according to you, which is a more important goal to prioritize? Is it quality education, that education would empower women? Most probably illiteracy is one of the causes for women to take a backseat. Or do you think gender equality is something that we need to focus on first? Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Smriti. This is, I believe, a tough question because both goals are very important. Quality education as well as gender equality. And I wish there was equilibrium in our world where I could have easily said that both are equal. My heart really goes out with quality education being a priority, because I believe if quality education is prevalent, there will be gender equality. Because with education, gender equality is a byproduct. It's a byproduct by default. Right? However, I feel really sad that that's not the true situation of our country or the world for that matter, right? My PhD study, my doctoral study was on quality education, where I had compared government schools, public schools, and foreign schools, right? So I would have easily wanted to say here that yes, quality education is a priority. It should be a priority for everyone. However, as I said, my heart is there, but the reality is that gender equality has to be a priority at this point, because if gender equality, which is like a step back, education is something like, I would say that's a privilege for everyone, but gender equality is like an existence need, right? We are not even meeting that. So education would be the next step to it. All genders require an equal opportunity to get educated, but we are not there yet, right? And I really want to take us back to the time of Swami Dayanand Ji, right? One of the founder and proponents of Arya Samaj. he really did a lot to upgrade the rights of women, especially the educational status of women. He wanted all women to at least have the basic educational rights. We are not even there yet. And I'm talking about the year 1875. It hurts me, it pains me that today in 2023, situation has changed, but it has not changed to an extent where we could say that, yes, we've achieved it. All women are being educated today. No, it's not the truth. I can give you one example. I have been an international educator and I've been traveling to various parts of the world since the year 2000. Almost every summer, I travel either to present at a conference or maybe attend a conference. So I'm talking about the year 2000 when I was in States, and I'm talking about USA, right? When I visited there in summertime, I was able to hear all the teachers from various parts of the world use exactly these words for me. Yeah, they said, oh, a teacher from India, she can speak English, she wears shorts, and she can swim. And they were looking at me like I'm an ajuba, you know, I've come out from the museum. I just felt so weird. And of course, as you said, women empowerment, I went and approached them and I asked them, what's making you talk like this? Yeah. What's so weird about a woman from India speaking in English, wearing shorts, swimming? They were like, no, we've only seen on television, even at this time, this is exactly what they said, that India is a nation of bullock carts. It's a nation of snake charmers. It's a nation of women wearing parda. I think that attitude, that mindset really has to change. We are talking about women empowerment. We need to make sure that gender equality is the focus for everybody in our country and all over the world. People need to understand that women have come a long way. I don't know what our media is doing, what they are showcasing, but times have changed now, right? And Vasundhara ji, I'm going to take the example of your Nani. Yeah. What a lovely woman she must have been that she continued to educate herself after getting married in those times, right? I have exactly gone through that. I got married pretty young, but I completed my studies. I completed my master's from Delhi University and I was the gold medalist even after my marriage. Then I did an international master's from State University of New York. Then I did my PhD. I did all 3 degrees after I got married while I was working full-time in an international school. And I also have 3 kids. So just being a decision maker in whatever role you are, whether you're working, whether you're at home, whether you're a mother, whether you're an entrepreneur, I think it just needs a lot of courage to be who you are. Just as Drishti said, maintain your self-esteem, accept yourself as you are, and please do believe in yourself. All genders are equal. We must believe that a quality education focuses on a holistic development of an individual, not just the academic scores. Physical education, dance, music, everything makes a person complete. And that's really what should be the focus. When we talk about men in our society, there is a superiority complex automatically. It's like, hey, you're a man, you know, that by default. And I'm not talking about illiterate men. I'm also talking about the educated men of our society, right? That is why, you know, I've been thinking about this question or the sustainable development goals all these years, ever since they've been introduced to us. And I just feel quality education, when we talk about educated family, are women in the educated families getting that equality of gender status? I don't think so. It's still not prevalent everywhere, at least very few families. So I can't really generalize this, but the fact remains that even in educated families that I very much know of, women are subjected to subjugation, suppression, oppression, and they still have to take permissions, which seems very odd and sad. And Greshma, as you mentioned, we should not be judging people. But trust me, even at my age and caliber, I have been judged for not making round chapatis. Yeah. For not making thin chapatis. I really don't know that. And I think I've accepted that everybody cannot be perfect. My roti that I make is edible. It's not perfect. So I just enjoy what I make. And if others enjoy it, good. If not, that's the best I can do. Yeah. So we must make sure that we as women just accept us as we are. We must continue to learn, grow, and improve ourselves every time. Age is not a bar. Learning has to continue all our life, but women must empower themselves for their own self, not because the society wants us to be empowered, not because we are doing something for men, but we are the originators of this society. We are the ones who are giving birth, right? Biologically, men and women are different, and there are pretty many differences, which is not within anybody's control. But besides that, we are very, very strong. We as mothers have to be role models for the society. We have to learn to treat our kids equally. I try my best to give equal opportunities to my sons and my daughter. And there is absolutely no difference in my family or in my upbringing of my kids. And that's exactly what I received from my parents. My mom is retired as a principal from a school. I have one elder brother, and both of us have been treated equally. So I think it comes from the family. And there's a lot where our society can improve, but my 8 minutes are over now, Smriti, so I'm going to stop right here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Monica. We would have never realized the 8 minutes because it was such a pleasure listening to you. Very valid and very pertinent points brought up here by Dr. Monica. It starts from the family. Are you treating your son and daughter equally? Are you giving them equal opportunities and equal rights? Those are the questions that each and every mother should ask herself first. And I agree with Dr. Monica, very educated and very highly placed families also do not have gender equality at their homes. They do not have the same kind of privileges that the men have, the women do not have. And it is a shameful fact, which needs to change. So even if you do quality education, like she said, the gender equality should definitely come first. And the quality education will only come when in certain parts of India, girls are allowed to go to school. So first, not allowed, the permission, the allowance of the family, for them to understand that even she needs education. That's the first thing. That's the first gender equality that we have to look into. And then will come the quality education, because then everybody would be going to school first. That's the first step. Thank you so much, Dr. Monica, for sharing your thoughts. And those were wonderful thoughts indeed. I go over to Drishti. Drishti, how can, like whatever we have spoken about right now, there was so much to speak about it. But as a practitioner of, you lived in two countries, what do you think about that? How can an empowered woman empower other women? Like we're talking about it, that we should not labelize, we should not generalize, and we should have these kind of things. But what are the steps that we can actually take? Where will you call this empowered woman actually empowered when she's empowering other women who are there with her? In whatever scenario, whether home or office or colleagues, friends, anywhere. Go over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Samriti. So, as you have mentioned before, that a woman is the one who puts down the other women. They are, the egos come in between, the jealousy factor comes in between. That's why we hear so much, two women, they can never work together, or they cannot be friends because of the jealousy factor. I think it's high time we change that scenario, because when women come together, they can defeat 10 men standing there. So so for me, the one thing that women can do, be good listeners. Just listen to what they are saying, what they are doing, and help them. If you see in your office space opportunity coming up, and you remember one of your friends or somebody in your family that they can be a best fit, don't let your ego come in. Give them the opportunity, share the opportunities with them, and let them bring in. And the other thing is, the one, whenever we meet, oh, you have gone so slim, oh, you have gone so fat. I think we should greet with each other instead of these, statuses by a normal hello. That would be more pleasant. So that's how we can empower women and boost some confidence into them rather than body shaming, as before Grishma was mentioning it, because it actually puts down women, and it really affects the mental state. And if you're there for a particular reason, because of these just two words, fat and slim, you cannot concentrate, and what's the point? And then you are just done. But once you motivate the women, just look at the smile and look at the enthusiasm to work in the particular situation. Also, I have seen and I've noticed many people, men and women both, they criticize the mothers in public who have difficult children, especially in airplanes. In airplanes, when the 6 month old is crying, the passengers or people are complaining, what kind of a mother you are. You cannot just even put your child to sleep, or quiet, we are getting disturbed. Instead of demotivating them, just get up, or maybe just offer some support, and everybody will have a nice flight. Everybody needs help. I believe there is no harm in asking for help. There is no age in asking for help, no gender in asking for help. Even men like some help, but they don't ask for it. But we women are very strong enough for celebrate each other's strength. As a woman or as a human being, we have a tendency to look at the weaknesses. So, it is normally said, you do 100 good things, but one bad thing will make an impact. So that can be changed by focusing on the strengths of people. Empower, if you have to empower other women, focus on the strengths. Maybe they are punctual. Just even focus on small things, because they put an bigger impact. For example, in an office setting, the bigger impact it will make is if you are punctual. If you are complimenting that being punctual, they will be more enthusiastic to come to the office and work, and they will be giving more input. So instead of pointing out the negative aspects, point out the positive aspects of everybody around you. And age is no bar. Everybody needs respect. If you give respect, you take respect. I have really heard some women only mentioning to other women, okay, I am older than you need to respect me. No, nobody needs to respect. You have to earn it. And there is no age in it. So I can go on and go on this topic, but I think I'll stop here for now. So these are the important points which I follow personally in my life, and if they should be helpful, and we should be following it in public spaces, in our homes, and in schools and offices as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Rishti. That was really insightful. Yes, you have to empower other women, and there's no age and there is no bars attached to it. And help, everybody needs help. If you can help, then you're empowering. If you can smile, if you can focus on the positives and you can just motivate people, you're empowering. So sometimes, we wonder, what can I do alone? And how can I empower? You do not need an NGO, or you do not need a community, or, you don't need a society to do something about it. Even if you empower a few women who are around you, even if you're just nicer to them, even if you do not label them, even if you just motivate them, you are empowering. So please be the change maker, and go ahead with that. Like Drishti said, that, it's the small little things. Appreciate. Don't feel jealous. Don't let your ego come in between. These kind of things can empower women. And you're a woman yourself. Don't you like compliments? The same thing you can do it with others. Don't you like to get motivated? We do. We all feel low. And at that time, if somebody can give us a hug and say, oh, come on, you are so good, everything will be fine with you, we will feel better. That's empowerment. So there are hundreds of ways to empower women and your colleagues, your friends, family. and children. So go ahead with that. Today only, and for the age factor, today only in the office, there was somebody who was telling me that they really do not believe that if you lived longer on earth, you are more knowledgeable or you can be respectful. You should be respected and you are more knowledgeable just because you lived a number of years on earth. It doesn't actually make you that. So it has to be earned. It has to be something that is valued. Okay, now the next question. So you talk so much, I really do not know now what to ask and what answers would everybody have. But still, let's see. For Greshma. Greshma, you travel to different countries, you take workshops with teachers, and you work with a number of different strata of people. Can you tell us that, what are challenges faced by women in different countries regarding education and empowerment? So we were talking about quality education and gender equality or women empowerment. So if we have to say, what are your experiences with different kind of communities or different kind of countries that the women are facing?
Thank you for the question. I think we all are pretty much aware that investing in a girl's education can transform not just communities or countries, but the whole entire world. Because girls who receive an education are less likely to marry young and more likely to lead a very healthy and productive lives. Now, we all know the importance, and I'm not getting into the detailing of why girls should be given importance, but even today, do you know how many girls around the world are out of school as per the UNESCO estimates in February 2022? Do we have any figure in mind? I'll just to give you a hint that it's in millions. Do we know how many girls around the world are out of the school? Trust me, the number is just mind-boggling. It's 129 million. And this data is as per UNESCO estimates 2022 February, just a year back, right? So around the world, 129 million girls are out of school, and out of which 32 million are of primary school age. Okay, 30 million are lower secondary or your middle school, and 67 million girls are out of upper secondary school age. So these numbers are just boggling, like what's happening to girls? Why are they not getting education? And I did a bit of my research. I did interviews with different, when I go to for trainings to government schools also, I did ask parents, what are certain, why are the girls out of school? And here are, I noted down a couple of points. Of course, the first one is poverty. We all know that access to an education is not there. Second is violence. Now, violence, girls are also supposed to walk like miles of distance to attend a school, right? Which increase the risk of violence. So most recent data has actually estimated that approximately 60 million girls, 60 million girls are sexually assaulted on their way to school or at school every year. So why would parents even want to then send their children to school, girls to school, right? So this also has really affected the attendance in the school. And the third is, of course, child marriage, which is not just very common in rural India, but also some other Asian countries also. It is a very critical challenge. And approximately 47% of girls in India are subject to marriage by the age of 18. And these numbers are very recent. So once the marriage is done, then most of the times the girls are like out of school, right? So, and again, there are approximately 23 million girls who are out of school only because after they begin the menstruation, there is no hygiene awareness, or there are no sanitary napkins, dispensers in the schools. And because of that, they have to drop out. So these are some major reasons that are happening. We've been listening to these reasons, for many years, but these are still the same reasons, and the numbers are pretty much higher even today. So to address these challenges, I feel that we need to work together, and which includes investing, of course, in education, infrastructure, training teachers, and promoting gender equality in schools and at workplaces. Now, here are some strategies that I would like to just share, with teachers and educators on how we can bring gender equality, gender neutral classrooms, because I feel somewhere the seed of gender equality is sown in the classrooms. And I'll give you examples. The first thing is, what do we teach when we are doing the concept of family in EVS? What is the role of a mother? What is being taught even today in the classroom?
Cooking.
The role of the mother is to cook food and take care of the family.
Family, yeah.
What is the role of the father?
To go to office, work, earn, and provide for the family.
Yes. And this is happening even today. Go pick up any EVS book, this is still there. In 2023, it is still there. That is the first thing that a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old is listening in the classroom. And that's all. We have sown the seed of gender equality or gender-based roles in the minds of children. Right? And it's so confusing for children, because maybe the mother is not a stay-at-home parent and actually going to work. So for the child, it would be, my mom is doing something wrong. It could be, right? Because it's so confusing. Teacher is saying something else in the class and mother is doing something else. So this has to change.
And Reshma, for that reason, mothers feel guilty when they're working.
Yeah.
Because the child also complains. You're never at home. You don't listen to me. You don't look at that mother who's at home. And then because they are learning this in school, they're expecting that at home. And that is how the guilt in the women sets in,
That's right. So can we just say that, the role of every family member is to take care of each other? Just that, let's leave it there. And let's make it normalized that, okay, women also go out and men also do the cooking. So we have to put it very diplomatically that some mothers stay at home, and some mothers go out and earn for the family. Some fathers do stay at home and some fathers do go out. We cannot generalize the statements now in this dynamic world, right? So that is the first example. Second example is, pick up any flashcards. The pilot is always shown as a male and the teacher is always shown as a female, right? The doctor is always a male and nurse is always a female in the community helpers, even today, right? So we need to change this. We need to show that women and men both are pilots nowadays, right? So our flashcards also needs to change. We've been using the same flashcards for over the years. It has to change, right? Pick up any stories, any fairy tales. Everywhere, the women are described as fair, rosy lips, red, whichever story you pick up, Rapunzel with long hair. And we are actually showing kids that only these women are beautiful. If the color of the skin is little dark, then which means it's not beautiful. And we are doing this very confidently through our stories, right? So those stories need to change. We need to change. We need to tweak. And I came across very recently a textbook, I don't know which grade, but Ugly and Beautiful. Ugly, a picture was shown as a fair lady, and Beautiful was shown as a fair lady, and Ugly little on the darker side, and fair and some hairs here and there. Why do we need to teach children what is ugly and what is beautiful. We are teaching them unknowingly that the darker skin means not beautiful. Yes, we need to change this. You must have come across this viral video of a, I think, 5-year-old or a 6-year-old girl who kept asking the mother that why it is always called as man-made structures. Yeah, and it was very viral during the last Women's Day. And that really made me think that, yeah, every textbook says man-made structures. So can we actually say human-made structures, right? Instead of adding gender even there, right? We always say Stone Age man, we forget to say that there were women also. As Dr. Monica said, we are the originators of the society. So there were Stone Age women also. So let's be specific or just say Stone Age human, right? Our textbooks need to change. And I'm sure we all have some point of time heard statements like boys, we generally tell boys don't cry like a girl, or, you know, girls don't fight like this. Let's avoid using any kind of gender bias statements like this. Yeah, even just saying that girls don't fight like boys, which then we are saying that boys only fight. The under meaning is that. So I feel these gender-based statements need to completely go out of our systems somehow, right? And it all starts from us. And these are very day-to-day examples that I am giving you. But you know, these really, because we all work as educators, we are actually molding the behaviors and the attitudes and the mindset of children. So that's where education is important. And we all say, yes, education is important, but हमारे education में भी तो loopholes है. हमारे education ही तो gender equality को प्रोत्साहन दे रहा है, right? So we have to be just more aware of what we are teaching. The content that we are giving out to the children is extremely important. Only then education is important. Right? Because if our education is promoting gender equality, then ye education ka hum kya karenge? Then this fight is only going on and on. Yes. So and these are examples of preschool and primary classrooms. I'm not even getting into what happens in middle school and high school, right? How bullying takes place and how bullying is being treated. So let's just be more aware of what we are giving information out to children, what content are we giving, and let's just make a very bring gender neutralization in our classrooms. So that's my point. Over to you, Smriti.
Yeah, thank you so much, Reshma. That was some very, very, very important points that Reshma pointed out. And yes, Evolve School, like that, the ones that I have been working in, we are taking some very, very precautionary measures over this. That, you know, we should not show a male doctor and a female nurse. Dostana movie, if you would have seen, Abhishek Bachchan was a nurse. That changed a little bit of things there. So, but yeah, but this gender equality would only begin once we stop these kind of content to form the primary setup of children's mind in the foundation years. We as early childhood educators really harp a lot upon the brain development and the foundation being laid down in 0 to 6 years and now 0 to 8 years after NEP and NCFSE. And this is the time when we are laying the foundation. This is the time when we are laying a wrong foundation. You know, we are laying the foundation for the inequality. We are laying the foundation of gender biased roles. And believe you me, it happens all the time and we don't realize it. Most of the times the problem lies is that we don't realize it. Not only about families where the mother is cooking and the father is a provider and the mother is a nurturer. There are different kinds of families these days. There's a single mother family. There's a single father family. All our books talk about a happy family, that advertisement family with this one mother, one father, 2 siblings, and everybody's happy. Extended family picture, there are grandparents also standing besides them.
Yeah.
Who lives Yeah, what about the children who do not live in a joint family, whose grandparents don't live with them? So these things, it makes them think, and they make
Yeah.
them feel that they are maybe different, their families are different. So let's not have these kind of stuff.
I would like to add something. Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you.
Grishma, please go on.
We also celebrate Father's Day, Mother's Day, very with full zosh
Yeah,
and full
I was.
enthusiasm in school. And you know what happens if there is no father? We've never thought about that.
Yeah. Let's celebrate, come with your parent or come with a family member. A family member is good enough. Any family member who is special for you. Let the child decide whom he wants to bring to school. It's like that. Let the child decide. I want to bring this. So it's like that, you have to somewhere consult the child in their upbringing and in their home culture, in their backgrounds, before jumping to conclusions or stating the things that were stated 100 years ago. If we have studied this, so we'll continue to teach that. Please, let's stop and let's stay away from all of that. I wonder why Little Red Riding Hood's mother never came to save her. So it is like, she only sent her to the grandmother's house, and she should know better to come and save her rather than the father coming in. All right. So the stories that Reshma talked about are very close to my heart, and we have always been advocating that you should not have these kind of stories where a prince would come and wake a sleeping princess, and without her consent, kiss her also. So look at the kind of stories we used to tell our children. Yeah, come on. So here it goes. And also, like a very small instance, if I today, you all can try it. Everybody who was on Facebook, please go and try it. Go to a toy shop and just say, I want to buy a birthday present for a 5-year-old. Just wait for the next question that the shopkeeper is going to ask you.
Ladka hai ya ladki?
So the first question that any shopkeeper is going to ask you, the high-fi ones would ask, ma'am, is it a boy or a girl? And you go to a local toy shop and bolega, madam, ladka ke liye chahiye ki ladki ke liye chahiye? Why? I can see a 5-year-old. That means I want a developmentally appropriate toy or a gift. Show me those. No. So these gender equalities are actually prevalent everywhere in the world. And let's think about the pinks and the blues before we paint our nurseries, right?
Yeah.
I know. I expected that reaction from Grishma because we both share the same thought process. That is why this came the pink and the blue. Okay. So here now we'll go over. We're actually getting so late. Now we're going to go over to Ms. Vasundhara. Poor thing, she's been waiting so patiently for her turn to speak out her thoughts, which we have all covered. I don't know what she's going to talk about, but I'm sure she has some aces up her sleeve. So, Ms. Vasundhara, what strategies now in today's world we as educators, mothers, women need to adopt that we can actually have women empowerment and gender equality in the true sense, specifically in a developing country like ours?
Thank you, Smriti. And like you rightly said, I think I've been enjoying all the conversation, and I was wondering, I said, okay, now point number 1 gone, 2 gone, 3 gone. So what's left, right? And having said that, when you were sharing about the pinks and the blues, etc., I was reminded of this conversation many years back when my son was about 3 years old, and we actually went toy shopping. And he got enamored with this huge plastic kitchen set, I still remember. And my first reaction, because that's how you're kind of trained, right, was when he was enamored, he was wanting to play with the pan and the gas and whatever. I said, okay, why don't you look at something else? And our little fellow at that point in time gave me my first training on what I should not be doing as a mother, especially if I don't want to, get into the gender-based stereotyping. Because he says, okay, why not? And the only reason we landed up buying that kitchen set was because I really, truly didn't have an answer for him that day, right? So he brought home that kitchen set. He played with it for years on end. He cooks in the kitchen today and is my biggest sous chef, right? So I think it kind of starts off there, right? It starts off, I think you said developing nation. I think with the developing nation, it also what happens is that the gender-based roles are so clearly defined that unless we as women bring up our boys differently, the women empowerment is not going to happen. So, like the WhatsApp messages that go around, I think one of the most common ones going around at every Women's Day is that, are you bringing up your boy differently? But, I hope you remember it for the rest of the 364 days of the year, that it's not about bringing up, again, it's not about bringing up a boy or a girl. It's about bringing up a child holistically. So can you do that? And coming to, what can we do as a developing nation? And I'll keep it short because I think everything else has been covered. But one true thing that I truly believe should be done is to train women up on entrepreneurial skills. And when I say entrepreneurial skills, I don't mean that every woman has to become an entrepreneur, right? But entrepreneurial skills includes, and the one biggest difference that generally happens, and which is where we kind of don't, bridge that gap ever, I feel, is that somehow inherently, if it is everything else, all other decisions in the house, I will take them. But inherently, as a lady of the house, if it is investment in insurance, someone else is supposed to do it. So at one stage, it's your father. Later, it becomes your father-in-law. At some stage, it becomes your husband. So it's always someone else deciding what your investments are going to be. It's always someone else deciding what has to happen with the money in the house. Why? Because we don't understand the basics, or so we claim, that we don't understand the basics of reading a balance sheet, reading the stock market, reading this, reading that. If we are educated women, if we understand the language, if we understand basic concepts, what stops us from understanding basic financial, information? And basic financial information, I'll tell you, this is an ex-banker, is only about addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, which we taught in the primary classes, right? So if it's only the 4 operations, at least we can get that much right. So that is one. And of course, entrepreneurial skills also includes your communication, your ability to stand up and talk to a bunch of people and all of that. So at the end of the day, if we were to just train our children up on, all skills that are required to live life, right? You will ensure that children are empowered. And therefore, you will automatically ensure that whether a boy or a girl, they're both empowered. I'm going to go back to Dr. Monica's first statement where she says that, somehow, why is it, that thing saying that someone else has to empower you? At the end of the day, if it's me and I want to be confident, if I want to train myself in something, if I want to understand a balance sheet, why should someone tell me, oh, you're a girl, you can't understand a balance sheet? Why should someone tell me my financial decisions are wrong and someone else should take them from me? So what, right? I'll lose a couple of thousands. Even if I lose a couple of 10,000s, I will learn. Don't men lose money? Or are we the only ones responsible for losing money, right? So therefore, at the all skills which I require to be able to do well as an individual are skills that are so important to become part of the education system. I think, in any case, rote memorization is fortunately going out of our education system, hopefully, and at least in the progressive education systems. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed. Yeah, everything crossed. But having said that, we kind of are moving in that direction. But what also needs to be understood is that, eventually with technology coming in, with Google coming in, there are a lot of answers there. So our education system does not need to teach children conceptual information. It kind of needs to teach children decision making, figuring out, if I get 5, Google links, what am I going to do with it? And that goes back to empowerment as well. If I Google empowerment tomorrow, day after, it shouldn't be restricted. So you say, who are the empowered women in this world? It shouldn't be restricted to an Indira Nooyi or an Indira Gandhi or a Hillary Clinton or XYZ or, whoever. It should just be every woman in the world. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vasundhara. That was really, really cool. Yes, type empowered women in the world, and you get all these stalwarts who have done something in the corporate or in the political world. Why only corporate and political? What if I have raised really good children and they are very good citizens of the country, or what they're making a difference? Then I have raised them. No, so I'm an empowered woman to do that. What if I can spread gender equality? I'm an empowered woman. So these kind of thoughts never come to us, which should be the basics, which should be the foundations. So talking about gender equality, quality education, or women empowerment would have no meaning until and unless we start from the very first place, that is our homes. and our nearby places and our vicinity, neighborhood, offices, schools, education, everything is going to depend on that. And women are the change makers. Like Reshma was saying earlier, if you educate your women, you educate your family, you educate a community, because that education spreads. Then she educates her children, and then she educates her children equally. So there are a lot of other things. So kitchen set, Vasundhara just reminded me, in my house, my husband cooks, I don't cook. So there's one, my mother-in-law had always taught him the very basic thing of that cooking is not like a male or a female's job.
It's a life skill, right?
It's a life
If
skill.
You need food.
Yeah.
Everyone needs food. Why can't you just learn
Absolutely.
to cook it?
And like so my mother-in-law was a very empowered woman, because she never stepped out of the house, let me tell you. But then she had 3 daughters and 1 son, and she raised all of them equally. All my 3 sister-in-laws are in high positions in medical profession, and they're working, and my husband cooks. That proves it, that they were all given the equal opportunities and the equal upbringing to be there. And that's, I'm not talking about right now. My father-in-law is around 90 years old. So you can imagine what era they belong to. And still they could raise 4 of their children equally. So in my house, I'm not even expected to cook. So it is like not even like I would hear something that I don't cook. So my sister-in-laws, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they all know that my husband cooks for me and I don't cook, and they're okay with it. So the first thing is that it is not about something that is called a privilege. The daughter-in-law doesn't cook, my son cooks. It is not looked down upon. That is what matters. So all you women out there, please feel empowered. Feel that, yeah, you are making a difference in whatever way you are, and be strong and be constructive. Be constructive with each other also. So I think that would be all for now. I'm wishing all of you a very happy Women's Day. And before we leave, just one request from ECDF, and that is to join us in Delhi for a global educators meet that we're going to have on the 25th of March. Here, the details are on my screen. 5th of March 2023, 10 a.m. onwards in New Delhi. We have a stellar lineup of global speakers who are flying over to us from UK and Malaysia and US and Australia. And they're all going to be there in Delhi. And we're going to have a book launch, which is like the Universal Perspectives by Global Experts. The book launch is going to be at the Press Club, New Delhi, where the book for early childhood development is going to be launched. And it is a very, very well-researched book with a lot of inputs from global educators and the authors. So please be there. And if you are in Delhi, do not miss it. You need registration links or something, please get in touch with ECDF. And they can help you with it. So there are early bird kind of discounts and everything available. So we hope to see you in Delhi, right? And with that, look at my video. And with that, closing in for the day. Have a very, very good night. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
All right. So bye, speakers. I've stopped the Facebook Live. I am glad that could happen. By the looks of what it was at 5 p.m., I thought that, we're not going to have this webinar anymore. And I would have been really, really sad if it didn't happen, because this was so much of beautiful sharing. And thank you all so much for sharing so many wonderful thoughts with us, because I always feel this thing, that we are restricted to looking at women empowerment in a single perspective. Today, I think all of us gained out of each other's perspectives that there's so many things. Yeah, it was a wonderful session. So thank you all so much. And thank you, Greshma, for the last minute coming in.
Thank you. Sorry, I have stopped all the push notifications, so I didn't get any new notification about.
And we were desperately trying to reach you.
Yeah.
And second thing, why don't we have your phone number?
I don't know.
I don't know, na? Please message me your phone number right away. Because at least Dr. Monica didn't join, we could call her. We could not call you only.
It was so nice connecting with all of you. Love listening to everybody's.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely meeting you.